No, record.
Yeah, people. It's like a podcast now,
The
basically.
B podcast.
Ugh. Okay, that's better.
Now can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I heard you
Hello?
before. Yeah, it's just I was hearing it through my computer speaker when
Okay.
not.
I meant to text you earlier. Yeah, I was gonna try to make this. I just was like wandering around all day long. Just I don't know. I'm actually in Belfast right now, Northern Ireland.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. What's been going on with you?
Great. I'm working on my second vlog. It should be done maybe tonight. Um, but yeah, it's 11:30. I'm in Northern Ireland right now. Then tomorrow I'm going to Edinburgh, Scotland.
Got it. Wow. Well, that's good.
Hmm.
And hopefully having fun.
Yeah, no, it's much needed time to just like get away.
Yeah. Relate. Okay. Well, hey, I'm glad you're here. Is it like midnight where you are? Pretty.
No, 11:30 p.m.
All right, well, I appreciate you coming here. Yeah, we don't even if you at any point if you need to go, just say, hey, I gotta go,
Hmm.
and then that's no big deal. We have a lot of bullet points to cover. It's been crazy.
I
Personally,
know.
then with Yang, it's like, oh my god, I don't know what you gotta do, but well,
I will say, like, I hope, like, my only worry is that I don't want things to blow up too quickly and people to be like, oh, we just got Elon Musk, which is great. Like, but like, it's like I said, I'm taking this like one step every day at a time. Just it's this. I think, you know, from my experience, the best way to do this is just a slow climb to the top. And it's like they won't see it coming. They won't see it coming. And it's like I'm glad like we're sticking to alternative media because it's hard for like mainstream media and the DNC to sort of track us. I think they have I don't know. It's just like I was talking to some foreigners here, and they kind of like a lot of people understand like the underlying problems in America. It's not like racism and um, what are their gun violence and immigration, people in the border. It's like roads, schools, and education, healthcare. But I think, and what also makes me happy, one of my best friends, he is the most non-active politically person ever. I was kind of talking about Andrew Yang. He looked on him. He likes Andrew Yang now. He even donated a dollar. He donated a dollar to this. So I can just I know that like give it. It's got to be a slow climb to the top, and then
yeah,
and he likes Instagram a lot. So like he got on his Instagram, Yang's Instagram. He's like, oh wow, there's so much content. So that kind of reinforced the idea that I want to give every Yang Gang distributor as much content as they can put out there because I do think like um, let me show you this one graphic. Yeah, but go ahead and I'll show you something.
yeah, sure. I have something I may want to show you guys later too. Just sharing something on Twitter. um, hint, is about K-pop, but it's really to Yang. Like there's some stuff happening, but yeah, go for it. And Sergey will be here in a moment. I just texted the link to the Zoom. Oh, and by the way, Mark, he was also like, "Hey, I want to join you guys too." I'm like, "Cool." Next time we meet,
Cool. Yeah.
I see his number, but yeah, I'll add him to the MMS chat because he would be, oh my god,
Yeah.
I love him so much. Like you guys are gonna love Mark. Like he's A plus.
Yeah. It's Mark Klokov or what's his
Yeah,
last name?
his whatever. Yeah, it starts with like
Yeah. He bought marijuanas.
yeah. Yes, you did.
Yeah. I told him it's my goal to smoke out every single Yang Gang member that I can.
Oh my
That's
god,
my goal. Yeah.
he can definitely.
Nah, that's my goal.
Did you
So
succeed
check out,
with him?
huh?
Did you succeed with him? Like, did you?
Yeah, no, he got me 2 grams from the store legally,
Okay.
and I
Anyway,
brought some here. But and here's okay. So yeah, back to I love Mark. Yeah, he's the type of person where I instantly became friends with him. So here is how America. You see my screen?
yes.
Have you seen this before? How America participated in the election?
Oh,
Um,
actually, I haven't seen this before.
yeah, this is interesting because okay, so 28% were eligible to vote, 29.9% didn't vote, 19.5 voted for Trump, and then 19.8 voted for Hillary Clinton, and 2.2% voted other. All these people combined could have voted for somebody else, and they would have won.
Yeah, that's freaking wild.
So what is wild is that Yang is tapping into this. He's tapping into this, and this. All three of them, and he's gonna win. And this, all he's getting into all,
He's
and even
getting
this because he
everything.
wants to lower
Yeah.
the voting age to 16. I know.
Wait, is ineligible to vote including like minors, or is that like illegals?
Uh,
Uh,
maybe yeah, illegal immigrants,
80%.
minors and felons.
Okay.
Felons, yeah.
Well, we can
Hey,
get.
Sergey.
I know like a lot of people on Reddit are like, hey, I'm turning 18. I can't wait to vote for Yang.
Mhm.
I hope they get it in time for the primaries. That's
He's getting this part of the pie. He's getting every part of the pie.
everything. And like you said before, like him, I do want that gradual gain in popularity as well. Like for instance, when Sergey comes here, we have to go in linear, like from what happened last week with like H3. Well, we already kind of talked about this last time, but like that from like Elon, from like the guns, from like him crying, and then him with this
Mhm.
Trump thing, and him kind of being too harsh on Trump or bullying, or people are excited about it. Like we have to talk about all of that because all of this is like again like building to popularity. But yeah, I like that he, to me personally, like he kind of like fucked up with the whole Trump thing, like kind of calling him like a slob and everything like that. I know why people are like, hey, like he called him out, but me personally, it just rubbed me the wrong way. Like I was watching Problem Solver Politics, and it rubbed Cardin the wrong way as well. And actually, Cody liked this, so it's weird how like some people are like, yeah, I don't care if like Yang, calls Trump names or like kind of, trash talks him. But some people are like, no, I don't actually like that. Like it's like not.
I need to watch. If you want to send me the clip, I'll watch it because I haven't watched any of what you just talked about, everything, but I saw like what people
Oh,
said. But I guess yeah, I'm sort of the same camp. It's like okay, anybody can bash Trump. Your shittiest stand-up comic can do it and get a cheap laugh, but
yeah.
it's not going to solve one problem for one person. So I think like, and it would be a way to differentiate himself as like he's not the basher, he's the problem solver. So like, I'll watch that clip and decide for myself. But I mean, it already sounds like I'm not going to like, I don't think that's the best.
Yeah, I'll
I
show.
don't think bashing somebody's going to get anything done. Yeah,
I'll just send you the link to. Well, maybe I can screen share it.
send me the link or screen share it.
Maybe just wait until. Yeah, let me just try to do it now. Let me practice with this whole thing.
Hey guys.
Oh, whoa. Hey,
Hey, Sergey.
we'll hold off on that. We're all here. Oh my god.
Hey, I've been listening to you guys for a while. You're like, I wonder when Sergey's gonna get here, and I'm like, I've been here for like 5 minutes, but I'm just gonna quietly
Shut the fuck
listen
up.
in.
Well, that's good. I'm really happy you guys are here.
Mhm.
Well, I guess you heard we were trying to. Okay. I don't even know how to start this. We have so much to talk about. Where do you think we should start, Sergey? Because I wanted to talk about like my crazy life, but I don't even know like that. It's just I just worked a lot.
Let's start with the big two things. So the big two things that people are talking about Yang right now is was he too harsh, and and then the actual like him breaking down and crying. I mean, and I feel like those two are the same. You got to think like if you're in a room full of people who just told you the absolute worst nightmare of their life come to life, and they probably are sitting there like whispering in your ear how much they hate the rhetoric that the president has been saying. You come out of that as a parent that actually cares about his children and like knows his names. And I know it's like it's easy to bash him, but you could tell like the way he did it, he wasn't prepared to say anything bashful. It wasn't like a prepared statement. He just kind of was like, he's a slob, he's fat. Like, you guys want to see me, like run a mile with him because that would be hilarious. I mean, at a certain point, like that's part of his humanness. Perhaps it wouldn't have been a bad idea for him to just come out and be like, I was emotional, but it was strategic. He like does Trump even worry about Yang right now? And I mean, the answer is he's not saying anything about him because
That makes me think they're worried because they're not
he'd
giving him.
be like, oh, here's a nickname for you. I don't care. Of course, he's not worried that Biden's going to beat him because Biden and Trump have a very similar camp, and he knows who's going to, like, most of it is like, who's going to pull the rural voters? And the rural voters want you to be tough, And if they have to call, he's got to call him out sometime. I know that, like, if you look at the polls, people want him to speak up. And
They want you to speak up.
I don't know. Maybe it was a little too far. What do you guys think?
Well, okay, I guess I have more context now. So he bashed Trump talking to the people that had their kids killed in the mass shooting.
Well, no, after he did the interview, after he talked to the gun violence crowd, he did a press conference, and they were pretty much saying, like, are you ready to face off against Trump? And he's like, oh yeah. And they were asking him basically, like, well, what do you think? What do you think do you think you can stand up to him? And he basically said, like, I'll challenge him to any mental or physical feat. And I mean, there were some jokes being thrown around, like, you're going to challenge him to a push-up contest or to run a mile, and then he made a joke back, like, saying, like, yeah. Wouldn't you guys love to watch Donald Trump run a mile? And it's sarcastic, but also at a certain point, I'm sure, like, he woke up to that idea too. Like, wow, no, everyone would love to see Donald Trump run a mile. I think Trump supporters.
I think if it's new and fresh, yeah. If you're gonna, like, kind of bash him, make it be new and fresh. I mean, like I said, there's nothing that annoys me the most than hearing the same bullshit from the same people, same comics, same news people. It's like, come on, are you just not that creative? But
to me, it's like a double-edged sword. Like what you were saying, Sergey. Like, a lot of the goal right now for a lot of people is to get that rural, like, vote, but a lot of that rural vote voted for Trump. So it's like, I'll show you guys I'll show you guys what I've been going on. Let's see if I can do a screen share real quick. First,
make Stalin look like an anarchist.
No. So let's see here. Can you guys see that?
Make great leader Pingu.
So you guys probably like this guy, or the audience. I don't know about you guys personally, but Steve Dannelly, like, I really appreciate this guy, and he's actually warned about Yang kind of like he wishes Yang would be careful about criticizing Trump in certain ways, because it can be taken kind of like this. Can you see this? I'll make sure you guys can see this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he says, I'm proud of the hashtag Yang Gang today, that this post below is near the top of Yang Gang Reddit with 1.6K of votes. It shows we're willing to call out our guy, and campaign usually listens. Very good post, worth reading. Okay, so I'm not gonna go through this whole post, but
constructive criticism. Yeah, I'm glad they're like, because it's good. I mean, it's because you want to listen to the people, so it's good. Like, it shouldn't be like this, we're not like this cult supporting some guy that we never disagree with. I mean.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
It's kind of a cult.
It really is.
But it's like an everybody cult, though.
Yeah, it's a cult where we're, like, as fair as possible. So yeah, I can show you the clip of problem solver politics, what they're talking about. Really.
Ooh, if you do this and upload it, you're gonna get a copyright strike.
I know, right? They're not gonna copy. Man, like, if they copyright strike me, then we know each other on Twitter. I don't know, but plus, I don't even make money off of this. So.
Hot takes. Are we gonna call this, like, hot takes with B?
It's just, I want to show you, Rob, how Yang talked in what we're talking about. So yeah, let's just go through this. If it's too loud, just let me know. I know I've just been crazy today.
I can't hear it.
Is it better?
Nope.
I got nothing.
Oh, okay, hold up. Wait a minute.
Okay, well, I think, like, okay.
Let's
not, like, spend too much time on this, because, I think the moral of the story here is, like, it's good that the campaign is not afraid to criticize Yang. It's good that he doesn't need to be afraid to speak out against Trump, but I think he doesn't have to be the one to do that, because, like I said, it's just like I tell, there was a French guy telling me how, okay, like, you're the only modern country that has these gun problems, and everyone else has gun control. That's the solution. I was like, well, no, it's not as simple as that. You should take away all the guns. I was like, but if you look at it too, is like, we're focusing on the wrong issues. There are more gun deaths by suicide than there are by shootings in this country, which is very true. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually something that Yang brought up as far as gun safety. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just suicide, but then also like, drug overdoses, like that's obviously kills more people than gun violence. And I think, like I said, we got to shift. I mean, I think we as the Yang Gang need to shift the conversation and the narrative about what issues that matter to the real issues, to the people that are disengaged. So like the 30% of the people that didn't vote, we need to tell them, hey, we're not campaigning as much as gun violence, people in cages at the border, and racism is they are issues in America, but they're not the biggest fucking things that are wrong with the country. They're blown up by the media because they are profitable. So we're here to tell you that we are focused the fight on improving our public schools, our roads, and our healthcare system. That's the main thing. And go on his website, you can see it. Like, that is what we're about. And that's kind of why Trump got so much support, because he kind of said that, and there's a lot of Americans that felt the same way. And I think like Yang is the same side of the coin that Donald Trump is, where Trump got a lot of the older people that believe this. Yang's getting a lot of the younger people that see this, because it's just he's on social media, he's digital on the internet, and it's just a much more message that's appealing to people our age. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, and even in the way that he attacked them, I think that there was really two reasons. He was trying to gauge where he's at, because he knew it was going to blow over. He definitely knew this was going to blow over and it wasn't going to be a big deal. And then the other side of it is like, it's kind of how you said, have some originality. It's the way he attacked them. He didn't, he's not just doing what everyone else is doing, the easy thing like, oh yeah, he's a racist, he's a white nationalist, he's this. And even when people ask Yang the question, he's not going to outright say it. He said like, yes, it's time that we, it's time that we call him out for what he is. But the thing is that's very personal to people. Like, you can say he's this or he is that depending on your situation. I know that like the things that he said, like I know what side of the coin I am when it comes to Trump, but that not everyone is. And so the way in which he called out Trump was just kind of, I think it was almost appealing to the Trump supporter, because that's the way that Trump calls out his opponents. He doesn't necessarily go for their ideologies. He just he says Sleepy Joe, or here's Crazy Nancy.
Joe
and he's
Biden
kind of like, yeah, here's Slob Trump. And a lot of the and a lot of his voter base would agree. A lot of Trump's voter base would agree. Yeah. The ones that say like, oh, I don't like how he talks. I think he should be quieter on Twitter. I think he should be focusing less on what he needs to say to the people that are against him, and more on what the country's doing. And you hear that a lot from Trump supporters. So he almost went after him in that same fashion and style that people like it, like that trash talky. This is WWE SummerSlam right now, which just happened, and it's kind of like we're gonna go back and forth, like I'm The Rock and you're Hulk Hogan, and I mean, that kind of public, like they want to see a little bit of that, and I think so that's like the Yang Gang did get a little upset, and we would, because we were running a Humanity First campaign. That's how like somebody even mentioned something on one of our channels, and I had to be like, hey, that Yang said it himself. Not everyone's going to agree with everything that he does or all of his policies, and that's when Elon Musk said that he's going to support him, like right almost immediately after that statement. And I told him like that's pretty much how we at the Yang Gang are going to be like too. We're not going to agree with everything he says. I trust in him and I believe in him. Just like I don't think that like Elon is always the most sane person when it comes to his tweets and what he says, but I trust in him and I believe in him, and that's why I'm like, yeah, Elon, you do your thing whenever he does his thing. And Yang is kind of the same way. Like, I don't agree with you on everything, but you do your thing, because there are some things that that I don't. I don't know how to be a politician. You're being exposed to it, and you've already seen what it's like to be to be in that to be on that stage. So we have to take it with a grain of salt. We don't know everything that he knows, kind of deal.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree that in the context, a lot was happening that day, so he's probably just like in like an over it mindset. He's like, okay, like I'm I'm just so done with like
bullshit.
I'm tired of the bullshit. Like, to me, it put me off, because like I was like, whoa, where is this coming from? I wasn't there in the room where people were asking him the questions and stuff. And maybe another thing is that, like, because I did voted for Trump, like, it did kind of was like a kind of the attack on me. Is like, okay, like, I mean, it's not like I like Trump per se, but there is a reason why I voted for him. And like when Yang like comes at him like that, it's like, oh my god, like here we go again. Like I feel like he's not, like I understand why they need to have that like banter, but like I think a lot of people that are a part of the Yang gang, or even if they didn't vote for Trump, they do understand. They kind of are in the same mindset of like, well, I understand why Trump is our president because he is that kind of like voice for like the like angry minority or the angry majority maybe of people upset with just the status quo. So maybe that's why it also kind of put me off. But it is what it is. Like I still love him to death. Like, and it shows that he is a human. Like you said, Sergey, like he is a human, and like he's gonna like say some like whatever stuff. And that's fine. Like again, like that's why I like that we're going through these steps. Saying like we're growing.
You know what? And I kind of want to call out the elephant in the room because the big thing is that like Yang needs to get this primary right. Like we know he can beat Trump. We know he can beat Trump. Not saying a single bad thing about Trump, but we need to get this primary. And like the way it's almost like fighting the DNC is more difficult than fighting Trump because every journalist, every activist, everybody who's on that left side is just yelling and screaming to take Trump's head off, right? Or anybody who's anybody. And so you see all of these other candidates going and trying to do it in the best of ways, and at least calling him out on the things that we can all see. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I understand why people voted for Trump, and I think most of us do. And I think almost everybody in the Yang camp almost sees like that Trump vote as like, yeah, we needed that. Like, we needed Trump to get Yang. Yang even said it himself. He's running for president because Trump got elected. And he saw that the reasons why he got elected were the right reasons. It was just we went about solving those issues in the wrong way. But
he brought the right issues to light, a lot of the right issues.
Like left side. And the left side wants everybody to just come after Trump. And so if you're going to be, in the Democratic camp, you have to say something. You have to call him out somehow. And that's like, I guess that's what I'm trying to call out. Is that like that sucks. And like at this point, he's forced to play political theater. And he warned us. He's like, hey, this is theater. I'm going to have to play the game. You have to trust me on who I am and how I run the campaign. And that's why the Yang gang has to always be there, humanity first. And we almost have to explain this away. Like, and it sucks because that's what people want. People want that, like, we're going to go after him. We're going to call him mean names, even though that's exactly why most people are so off-put by Trump, even his own supporters. So like the left is playing this like really dirty game where they're thinking that like they can use Trump strategies in their own field, but really all they're doing is separating each other on all of these different candidates. Not like why is I don't know, anybody really attacking anybody on the left side? What are you really doing? You're giving fuel to to anybody who's not a supporter. Shouldn't you sit there and like make each other look better? You can take all this time and instead of making each other look like crap, you can make each other look good and have the people actually decide on who they want to be president. But if that was the case, then Yang would already be the nominee, and then that will be over. So then you look at the billionaire donors. Who are the billionaire donors going after? Top 4, top 5 people, and there's one billionaire donor who finally came out for Yang, and that's Elon Musk. And you think like, I don't really care what bankers think at this point. I don't really care what most businessmen think at this point, because when I see a guy like Elon Musk who's literally been doing anything to try and save the world since 2002, like that's how long he's been doing this crap, and only now are most people waking up to like, oh wait, like this isn't just some crazy out there conspiracy people telling me that he's an alien person. This is an actual human being who's done right by us every single step of the way, has been super transparent about what he's done, and even got himself involved into politics on the side where people actually, criticized him. He was in Trump's cabinet basically, and then resigned only because they left the Paris agreements, and then even then he put his foot down. And like that's the one billionaire that decides to go for Yang. I think we have to look at that, because that happened that same day, and I think we have to look at that as the true essence of what the Yang campaign represents.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think like the more I've thought about it, the DNC and mainstream media, it's a media company. Their business model is to get as many views as possible to get money. So how do they do that? They have to make it reality TV. And someone was talking about, I don't remember where, but it's like they have, like when Joe Biden says this, okay, now it's time for Kamala to attack him, but then let's get Tulsi Gabbard to attack her, and it's all this just like, okay, like now's a good time to run an insult. And yeah, I don't think people like that. But here's the thing: I think it's good that Yang sort of tested the waters by kind of like bashing Trump. At this point, it's petty; it's going to blow over just to see what his supporters thought and what other people think. Yes, I think like we should stand by him in solidarity, but also, like I said, I showed B the picture of the 30% of people that didn't vote. Like that's who we got to go for. It's like, what do they think? And I was telling her, like, I have a buddy who's never voted before, very non-political, and I showed him Yang. He kind of thought about it like most people do. It takes a second to register, and then they're like, oh shit, he donated $1 to his campaign. He's never done it before. So I don't think bashing him I think he could run an entire campaign without bashing him in a petty way. So I think I don't know if we should just like resort to that. I think as the Yang gang, we don't need to resort to that, but yeah, like I said, I'm all about like just pushing down content to show people like what we're about, like what is this movement about?
Yeah, like getting the people that didn't vote, that is the number. That really should be our number one goal. I mean, I know we have to get like the boomers and stuff, but like that pie chart was like, oh snap, if everybody that didn't vote voted for one person, no matter who it was, even if they just wrote in a ballot, that person would probably win.
Harambe.
Selena Gomez, I got a lot of votes too. But yeah, honestly, I'm okay with like Yang coming after Trump, but like he just needs to refine it, I guess. Or I know, like talking to people, he didn't even like want like that wasn't even like, I don't know, like I know he probably was not expecting it to blow up as much as it did. So that's fine. Like it's just that particular clip just put me off. I'm like, okay, that was weird. But hopefully now, like, I don't know, like maybe I don't even know what he can do. But yeah, hopefully whatever he says, I just don't want him to be like to think of like one-liners or like a good I just want anything that he says to come as naturally as possible and go from there. That's all. Like, whether I agree with it or not. Like,
it's good. Okay, it's good that we discuss it, but like I said, I think it needs to be like we gotta go for that 30% of people that didn't vote. Yeah. That needs to be the goal because, I mean, like I said, it's good to test the waters now because everything's sort of still inconsequential. But yeah, I mean, so like, and my thing is like, okay, like Yang Gang, we've got to create our own propaganda media machine. You know what I mean? Like. That's kind of like the goals I have with Yang Gang Media. So,
yeah.
Rob, is your like mic like scratching something every time you?
I think it was, yeah, my hoodie or my jacket.
Hey, just to kind of wrap it up, we've been on this like
a little too long.
We've been on this long as long as the DNC wants us to.
Yeah, I know. See, that's the problem. Is like
not only did Andrew test. Trump see like, hey, like, am I a big enough fish for him to notice, for him to say something yet? But he also was testing his crowd. I mean, he doesn't attack Trump often, and he only does it at basically like the peak of the media is like calling for his head, and so you almost like, again, if you're going to be a Democratic candidate, if you're going to be a Democratic candidate, you can't say that you're we were talking about this last time. You can't say that you're pro-life. That's going to be absolute political suicide, and that sucks. I'm not going to get into that debate because the idea is that like
it shouldn't have to be that way though.
That you can't just go off of what you actually believe and then have people decide like, well, what do we care most about? Do we care most about repealing a law that's been enacted for the last 50 years, or do we care about making sure that our citizens are taken care of? And I think like he's not going to so he tested the water, and he now sees that like it doesn't work. Nobody cares. The people that thought it was funny, but it's really not worth it to get a laugh. It's better to just continue the course. Because there were, again, you look at the polls of like the Yang Gang, and everybody was like, yeah, go like be tougher on Trump, and you don't need to. Because at this point, if you're going to be tough on anybody, just be tough on the Democrats. If he's really tough on the Democrats and their inability to address the real issues and their inability to actually focus on the right things to change the narrative that Trump has started. I mean, if you're going to follow along Trump's narrative, you're going to follow that off the cliff, just like we're following GDP off the cliff. Change the narrative, do something right. And I think at this point, maybe he will. Maybe he realizes that the media that's liberal is not necessarily his friend. It's the media that's independent and the media that's actually more conservative that's going to be his friend, and that's going to be his ticket to victory. If he sticks to being the voice on the Hill and being the voice on Fox, if he keeps going on, please, you keep doing that, Yang, because that's where I love him the best.
Yeah, that's like amazing.
Talk to people
they love him for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It's like we're on it. It's weird.
I love it.
The thing is, like, we've got to Yang Gang. We've got to change that narrative because, like, the DNC and mainstream media does not like MSNBC, the most liberal mainstream news source, hates Yang, and Yang is like obviously one of those like progressive liberal candidates. So that goes to show you. But like I said, we got to do that as us. So it's just like I said, by just organizing the Yang Gang. That's what we got to do. Going to the debates, meeting people.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, we got that out of the way. And we talked about Elon Musk briefly. Like, I think everybody knows that was really awesome. And
Snoop Dogg is next.
Gary Vee is next. Like, freaking Casey Knight. I did not expect Casey to come out and like support, or at least
there was rumors. Remember, there was like rumors, and like he had said he's for UBI.
I know, but like we actually seeing it is like
I said, there's no breakout moment right now. He just needs to keep on doing what he's doing. Go on Casey Neistat, Gary Vee, Snoop Dogg, all this alternative media, and it's my hope that the last debate before the Iowa primary, this is when he sort of, or maybe before Super Tuesday, he tells Americans like, hey guys, we all know that the DNC and mainstream media is full of crap, and if you believe this, I promise you, I wouldn't be saying this right now. Please vote for me. Like, I am the choice. I'm the candidate. That's what he needs to do. Either before Iowa or Super Tuesday, he needs to go on the debate stage on his closing arguments and say that. I think until then, he needs to continue to talk about the issues that matter and not play into their bullshit. I think he definitely did a good job in the last debate to reframe all the questions to an answer that he liked, that is actually relevant, not something stupid like, people say that the best candidate for the Democrats need to be someone that's the most electable. That's Joe Biden. Tell us how you're different. And he just blew that question out of the water. Like, it's not Joe Biden. Jesus Christ.
It drives me crazy. But okay, this is a good segue.
I really hope it's gonna be embarrassing to like travel if like Joe Biden's our president. That's how we react to Trump. Like, come on, we can do better.
You telling me? Yeah, I live in Delaware.
As a nation, like, we gotta do better. Like, we gotta change the narrative. Yang Gang, we gotta change the narrative because like people our age, we naturally don't trust the government and like the media, but so we got to change the narrative.
And we
go ahead.
We will. Yeah, I'm just saying that it's gonna happen.
I like that idea. If you think it's gonna be Snoop Dogg or whoever is gonna be next, I think part of that is like I was talking today how SummerSlam just happened, and that's a really big just everybody loves wrestling. I almost forgot how much everybody loves wrestling.
Dude,
like, wrestling is that K-pop craze hits, and I was like, oh, like K-pop, but then I forgot that wrestling is still bigger than that. Like, you have such a diverse crowd. Like, it's not just a conservative thing, though. Like, sometimes people like to paint it that way. And it's not, and there's a lot of liberalism in that whole show. It's very telling of our society, the way wrestlers treat each other and bicker with one another. Like, it's almost like you're watching the friggin' election happening on stage, and then people are really, they care about that sport, and they're really opinionated, and they're the type of people that they created their own opinions. So like that's a good crowd for us to just talk to, and that's kind of my point, is that, you know, it's the good that we're also spreading this word of the Yang, but also like not just in political circles. Like we just need to go and talk to people that we normally wouldn't. And then the other part of that is, you know, if we can get like somebody in the WWE basically to say like, yeah, Yang, that would be huge, no matter who it is, whether it's Trish Stratus, who just had that like amazing match that everyone's been talking about, or yeah, I mean anybody that's in current wrestling right now, if they were to do that, because the same thing with UFC, and those go hand in hand, where, you know, UFC fighters can't unionize. Same thing with WWE wrestlers. So the whole idea that he's trying to do better for UFC, it's also going to be better for WWE wrestling. Which takes me to the other point, is like, so one place that Yang Gang could do better is we have to go into the places where people are, kind of like where you follow the money with the universal basic income. You don't tax the poor, you tax where the money is. Same thing with this campaign. Like, we don't just go to where the Yang supporters are. We go to where just regular people hang out. You know, and like this event, like this wrestling event, was huge. And the other part of that is making sure that we tap into the Last Week Tonight audience and John Oliver, because you look up and down the list of Yang policies, and they are pretty much Last Week Tonight episodes. You know, it's just, you know, whether you go from the penny to UFC to even universal basic income. So like we kind of have to start branching out and just having conversations that aren't Yang, that we're not just like, look at Yang, look at Yang, look at Yang, but like, hey, have you thought about universal basic income? What do you think about your government bureaucracy? Do you think democracy dollars is something that we can do? Have you, you know, do you even know who Elon Musk is? Which I ask people that, and most people don't. Then you can start talking about the future and what we're doing. You know, there's so many interesting conversations to be had about the future, about the things that people haven't been thinking about, that eventually the conversation or their curiosity will just lead them to Yang. At that point. You can just kind of drop little tiny hints here and there, and it's like, look this up, and it's not even Yang, but eventually they'll get there.
Here's my take. I gotta go after this. It's like shutting down in here. Yeah, as far as influencers go, we need to get like a variety, because I think like Elon Musk, there's no sense in trying to saturate the market. You want to get a wide variety to get everybody. So I mean, like I said, Snoop Dogg is different, all that. But I think like when I was at the last debates, these two guys in suits were coming up to us. I think they worked for the DNC or something. They're like, to me and Andrew Hector, they're like, they knew about Andrew, but they like convinced us that he's the person. I was kind of like, you know, like, I was like, were you on his website? And he's like, they've never seen it. And I was like, well, you know what? Like, honestly, that's a much better way for you to really see what he's about instead of me trying to convince you. So I'm really not going to do that, you know? So I think that's kind of a good approach that we should try to take as the Yang Gang, to like show people, if they've never come in contact before, like, hey, you know, just go on, take 5 minutes, go on his website, check out his policies. We promise you it's worth it. And that's a much better way to you know, form your opinion first. Don't let us form your opinion for you. So I just see that as, I think that could really help grow the base. And then obviously, like I said, just digital online strategy in the air, just, you know, pushing out content. So
yeah.
But yeah, I'm about to go here. I guess
totally
I'll talk to y'all in the next, I don't know, whenever.
Can we talk tomorrow? I can talk tomorrow at 12 p.m. Like
But tomorrow might not be good for me, but maybe the next day.
I work on the, oh damn. Okay, if it's gonna be Wednesday, it's gonna have to be like late again, like at 6, or really, really early. What works for you, Rob? Like, okay, if we were to do it on Wednesday, what works for you?
See, the thing is, like, I haven't really like gone out much, because like I'm about to go to Edinburgh, which there's a lot of like comedy shows and stuff I'm gonna go see. So like I may be out at this time. I don't know. So I've kind of been like saving up for that. But maybe I might just take a whole week off and just like unplug and then be ready to go when I get back. So.
That's okay. I have some people. I have some like emails to send you, like people that are interested in. You know.
Let me send you. I made a Google Doc. I'm a Google Sheets. So how about we all just hop on it? Okay, let me share this with you.
Yeah, this wonderful person, Ryan, from Twitch. I know him from Twitch, but he also does YouTube and stuff. He's like, oh yeah, I want to join your game media, so I want to make sure he was on that email database you had going on. Yeah.
Okay, I'm copying right now, and then I'm gonna put it in this message right here.
No problem. Yeah.
Actually, let me just text you on the group message.
Yeah, it's okay if you just text. That's no big deal. Totally fine. Yes, Sergey.
Actually, can you send a text in the group message real quick?
I think I just did, but let me
just do it right now. Test it and on the text message.
Got it.
Something's going on my laptop. Messaging.
Oh wait. Okay. Hi. I'll just text hi. But yeah, guys. Like I said, like Mark may join us next time we do this. If any of you guys else want to join us, please feel free. Like we don't bite, I swear. Maybe a little bit.
Hey, Sergey, can you just tell me your number right quick? Or you B can edit this out when she posts it.
I'm not editing shit out. About.
Actually, I don't even know what my number is.
Oh my god.
Wait, I got you. It's 616.
There we go.
965 5387.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm still learning my new number, so it's okay. But I just wanted to let you guys know that so basically my Yang Gang nationwide tour idea is kind of taking off the ground.
Yeah.
Getting off the ground now. So I've been able to contact a few bands that are willing and ready to tour with me. I have a couple of bands that are ready to go for 3 weeks. I have a couple of bands that are ready to go for about a week and stuff like that. And so now I'm trying to think of like what cities are the biggest Yang Gang hubs, and then and then we can start basically planning on using that. Like Portland's big, Detroit's getting bigger and bigger. Atlanta, yeah, you're right, Atlanta. So I mean, those would be the obvious choices, and then we start going down the list. Yeah. And then we just start going down the list of who's.
I'm gonna do the same thing.
Yeah. Who's the next biggest? And my plan is to try and start doing this sometime in the spring. So basically, then from spring on to the big show. We're basically doing Yang Gang rallies. I mean, if we can start it earlier, I'm ready to quit my job and start touring whenever.
I'll do the same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the more bands that get on it quicker, the better. So yeah.
No problem. Rob, thank you so much for being here. We'll figure out when we can all meet again together.
Okay.
Really.
Let me speak, and then I gotta go. So Sergey, can you please go in the group message, and I put on Zoom. I put the Google Doc on there. So please go ahead and start filling that in. I'll do the same. Yeah, nationwide tour, great. I'll be doing the same thing for like the super PAC, but meaning it's more for the Yang Gang. I'll be the one that's like, oh, hey, community forward, we're listening to you. What do you need? What do you want? That sort of thing. And I think like if most people just, what I've learned in customer service, sometimes when people have a complaint, they just want to be heard, and that's it. They don't even want something to be done about it. So that'll be me. It's just, doing that. But yeah, I mean, if we can do like Yang Gang music festivals in like Portland and like Detroit, fuck it, let's do it.
Woo!
So, okay.
Yep.
Summary of what we talked about, and I'll put it in the chat. So
yeah, like I said, we gotta unite. People will get on board with this, and it's like we'll be like doing Woodstock, but like
yeah, exactly.
Right, I gotta go.
Okay, we'll still continue, but bye, Rob.
Yeah, okay, get that link, please.
No problem.
All right, bye.
Okay, so yeah, we'll go on for another I can go on for another freaking 30 minutes because we still have to talk about the mall idea. We have to still talk about Slack a little bit. And Slack's kind of, that's self-explanatory. But, okay, yeah. Tell me more about this tour thing. How how can you disclose what kind of who's in it already? What bands are interested or?
Oh, well, right now I have 2 bands that I'm in, Another Man's Trash and It's. And then we have the Feel Goods and As Am I that are from local bands. I'm trying to work on Boob Sweat, which is another. So I mean, right, it's all local Grand Rapids, but that's kind of where I was talking about earlier. How like we need, like, the Yang Gang really needs to, we need to get after, like next, I think John Oliver would be the next person to get after. Like, make sure that we're liking him, commenting on almost every one of his episodes, making sure that yanggang2020.com is on like the top comments, that people see it. Like, whenever people watch his clips, watch his show, they see that there is a progressive candidate who's running on all of these things that they all agree with. You know, and it's not the most popular show, but it's popular enough, and again, with like-minded individuals, to where I think that, you know, at least 50% of his audience is probably already Yang Gang.
You said John Oliver.
So and part of, what?
Who you said John Oliver? Is that who you said? We should.
Yeah, Last Week Tonight. He does. Yeah, he does Last Week Tonight.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And, yeah. And so and the other part of that is like that like my big wish is that we can get one of the bigger artists that are in that same respect, and like and the idea is like, once I have the bands that want to do it, that's going to be on us to kind of spam them, but also maybe on the Yang Gang to just be like, hey, like Lana Del Rey, you just came out with this really beautiful song that definitely, it was definitely like a Childish Gambino, like This Is America type of song, just from her perspective.
Yeah.
You know, and not to mention, yes, like Donald Glover, that would be like another person. Tyler, the Creator. You know, people that have always been active, that have always had their music stand for something. You know, and we just need one. We don't need more than one.
Yeah.
But you know, it's going to be difficult. I mean, because like on the rock stage, like I would love to get Jeff Rosenstock. Like that would be the guy, because Jeff Rosenstock, and he's at this band Operation Bomb the Music Industry, and like those are your 30% of non-voters, you know. Just like they're the hardcore punk kids that they absolutely don't care, and they're in the underground scene, and if they vote for anyone, it's probably going to be like My Dick. That's what they're going to write it.
Yeah,
just to make it funny.
Yep.
So like it's even like the bands that are they're the big underground bands is who would, like, I really want to push.
I want that
right now
too.
it's just, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I want that too. I'm not, you know, even though I do like pop music, I don't I like people that are up and coming and something alternative. Yeah, and I'll get like trying to.
The thing is, there's not much of that right now, and I think this the idea for this world tour is like, or the world tour, the idea for this nation tour is like, we're gonna, so the Yang Gang is a network of thousands of people who are trying to do better and create a better community across America. You know, and Andrew Yang brings us all together on this. And there are a lot of musicians that would benefit from the UBI, and there are a lot of venues that are failing. They're just not bringing people in, you know, the way they used to anymore. So it sounds like if you combine all of those things together, you know, there's your tour. All you have to do is just, you know, connect the Yang Gang to the venues, connect the venues to the bands, and the thing just writes itself. And as long as and it doesn't even matter how many people show up to your first show, even if they get like 10, 20 people at your first show, great. I mean, that's 10, 20 people that you got to talk to and hang out with, and maybe they donated a little bit, and then they talked about it on social media. Your next show, you're going to get another 10, 20 people. Your next show, you're probably going to get 100 people. Once we get to Detroit, you know, that's going to be our big show, because Detroit's going to be a nice big Yang Gang following. Once we get to Atlanta, that's going to be a big show. We go to Portland, we're going to have 1,000 people. We can probably like do a nice like thing at a park. And so we just have to we have to tailor the venues to the following of the city. So we can get a smaller venue in places like Grand Rapids where we just don't have that big of a footing yet, and get the bigger venues in places like Portland and Atlanta.
Right, and this is happening in the springtime?
I would like for it to. That's what I was planning on going anyway. So right now the big thing is to take this month, right, that I have into getting as many replies as possible. And then using the month of October to start calling the venues. So then by December, I'll have at least 10 shows set up across the country. And the rest of them, I'm just going to try and play it by ear. Like, even if it's just 10 shows in a span of, let's say, 3 months. Let's say I can do 10 shows in 3 months in about 2 months. That's what we can do. Then the other ones are just kind of be fill in the blanks. Some people are going to be like, yeah, I'll have a house show or a house party for Yang, or another person's going to, some bars is going to pick it up. A Yang gang will see that this is happening and, contact us. Cause that's the other part of it, is we need to I wouldn't be able to do this without the support of the Yang gang. Cause this isn't a single, this isn't a single person thing. We have to make sure that everybody knows that like, this isn't just like, hey, this is fun for the bands type of thing. This is a real nationwide exposure, to where if we have enough shows and if we have enough support going to those shows, we can make something big and magical happen with absolute nobodies. Like you said, absolute alternative people. And at that point, getting one or two bigger names onto your big show whenever you plan the really big, kind of like where it all crescendos, where it all climaxes. That sounds a lot more doable.
I love that. I really do. Wow, dude. Okay, so, wow. Do you have a PayPal or a Patreon that people can donate to?
I have a PayPal, yeah, but I haven't started anything with that yet.
That's like, all you need is that account, and I can link it in the description below. If people are want to contribute to that.
Well, what if you and I can start we can start thinking of a good name for a page, because right now really what are we gonna call this thing? For me, so the studio we're working on is Be Conscious, which is great for be conscious, think forward, make America think harder, humanity first. It's all in line. But then I like to get higher ground, because that's exactly what that's the call to action from Andrew, that we do need to get to higher ground. Also it's got that whole weed thing involved into it, so people are gonna go bonkers for that too.
Oh my god! So. Wow, that I liked it before then, but that just made it better. The only thing I could think of was Revolution of Reason, but that I like Higher Ground better because it's.
Make America Think Harder. That's not a bad Make America Think Harder tour. Or a festival or whatever it is, or really Humanity First. They all work. They really do all work.
Yeah, all the
it's kind of express your vote. What is going to be the catchiest thing? What is going to be the that people are just going to love it? That's why I like Higher Ground, because it doesn't have anything to do with Yang or politics.
It's still an inside joke, but yeah, it's still general enough for people to be like, oh, that sounds interesting. Higher Ground. Where are we going? I like that. Mm-hmm. And it could be a mental thing too, higher ground, you're mentally thinking higher or more.
Or it's an Elon thing, the way that we're trying to go to space. I mean, it works on so many levels.
I think it's gonna be let us know, guys. It's gonna be a clip, so it'll make it easier for you guys. Let us know in the comments below what kind of names, or is higher ground okay, or do you have a better name to call this tour? And again, yeah, I mean,
you're a band that's watching this, just contact us. If you're a band that's watching this, please let us know. I mean, you can flood my email at grand.rapids.yang.gang@gmail. If you can link that below too, that'll be great. But yeah, it's just grand.rapids.yang.gang@gmail.com.
Yang.gang. It's a lot of dots.
Yeah, and that's the great part about this is like the as long as we can get the Yang Gang involved, everybody wins. Everybody wins, and that's the whole point. Like that's the point of this campaign is bring people together, unite them under something again, have them stand for something, and
yeah, y'all.
You know,
I mean, like
learn how to help each other again, I guess, instead of yelling at each other.
yeah, again, like I had to get the Trump thing out of the way to just talk about it because it just bothered me kind of. But I'm glad that Robb was like, listen, like focus on the media wants us to have us quibble over this shit. Like I know, like Yang, I mean, yeah, and Yang will be a part of it, and you know, like you said, like Yang will have to like play to that, like ooh, like he got Trump. To a certain degree, and that's totally fine. So that made like Robb saying all that made me realize, like, oh yeah, like Yang will do his thing, headquarters will do their thing, but like the base camp and like grassroots will do our thing, and we'll continue to push forward this beautiful message that Yang has stowed upon us.
Yeah, and like we definitely and when we get asked, well, why is Yang attacking Trump? Why is this? Blame the media. Absolutely blame the media. There's no one else to blame. They are setting him up with these questions. It's there's just no way around it. I mean, if you're think about it from a conservative standpoint, like if you're a Republican and you are for gun rights or you are for sensible gun legislation, and you're a Republican candidate, but you're not going to say that because it's political suicide. You know, even if you're a Republican candidate and you don't agree with everything that Trump says, you're not going to say that. So it's really stinks that we are divided on these party lines, and that's the biggest thing about not left, not right, forward is that we're trying to break the party lines, and that's why Trump was voted in. Like don't mistake for any other reason. People wanted to break the wheel. That was the number one. I mean, you can blame it on automation and everything else. And I agree with Andrew. Like he definitely spoke to the real issues. Yeah, he spoke to the real issues that mattered. But at the end of the day, almost everyone voted for Trump. They wanted to see something different. They were sick of the political machine. They were sick of how things were being done, and we needed somebody different in office. And it made sense. I mean, like that's why nobody should be ashamed of their vote, and nobody should shame other people of their vote. Nobody should even, if people are supporting him right now, you shouldn't be mad at that. The reason they are is because the government has failed them for so long. We've been lied to for so long from both parties. I mean, if you're gonna go both sidesism, that whole argument, it's politics. You know, the Republicans have screwed us. The Democrats have screwed us. The Republicans have been racist. The Democrats have been racist. It doesn't stop with a party. Like all of the negative things, that's bipartisan. All the positive things is also bipartisan. How can we put the negative things away and store them in a box until we're ready and just focus on the positive things and making sure that like how can we unite as a people again? How can I just look at how can we look at our Republican brothers and sisters and just get along again and just not look at them like, oh, they're Republicans? Or how can we not look at somebody who's for just a candidate that we don't even like or whatever? It doesn't mean that you can't hang out with them. And the idea is, you know, just because I'm not a big fan of Taylor Swift doesn't mean that if somebody who likes Taylor Swift is going to try and hang out and talk to me about Taylor Swift, I'm not going to freak out. As a musician, I have to give her some kind of credit for what she's been able to do. I have to understand that like her songs are super catchy. The team that she has working around her is extremely talented, and she she gives voice to a certain type. She resonates with a certain type of crowd. It's just not me.
Yeah.
But there is a crowd out there that it resonates with, and that's the important. And that's like all of these different camps should be represented in both parties. Both parties should represent all camps. So when people think that the Republicans are for rural America, it shouldn't be like that. And when people think that the Democrats are for the people living in the city, it should not be like that either. Both the Republicans and the Democrats should like liberals and conservatives, because Republican Party and Democrat Party shouldn't be liberal and conservative party. It should be what they are. And then they should want to invite people across both camps and not shut anyone out. We don't have that, and we're not going to have that at this election, and maybe not even the next one. But I think what Yang guarantees, and I think what the Yang Gang guarantees everybody, is that if you vote Yang in this time, we're going to continue to keep breaking down this really messed up system that we have. I mean, everybody knows it's messed up. So we have to just continue breaking it down as the people. I think back in 2016, a bunch of people like us got together and said, let's elect Donald Trump. And now it's going to be a bunch of people like us saying, let's elect Andrew Yang.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. A side note, I did figure out how to, I'm not going to show anything right now, but I figured out how to get the audio from my computer. I just had to check off this one box that I didn't check off, but I am going to share something really quick. I've been holding my tongue, but I cannot any longer. So basically, I want to show you guys this person on Twitter, Tia Kim, I believe that's how you pronounce her name. And she's definitely Korean, and she tweeted this out. Like, I guess it's like a article in Korean of them talking about Yang and everything like that, which I think is super freaking dope. Like I said, like I love the international Yang gang so freaking much. You would not believe it. People like in Tokyo, they had a meetup like I think last week, like 5 to 6 people, and like that's like mind blowing. Like I don't think Trump had that, like shit like this. It's just growing and growing and growing, and that's why we need to cater the grassroots campaign so much. But let me just screen share real quick. Yeah, I don't need sound for this, so okay. Yeah, this is the tweet that I was referencing to, and it's funny because this led to like a chain reaction. I've talked about K-pop and Yang in the same video before, but like I think it's time for me to like get back on this, because it seems like a lot of people are jumping on board too. And Eric, he retweeted, all we need now is someone from BTS or YG, which is, the Blinks and everything, YG official Blinks, to tweet about him. I don't think that would happen because I would highly doubt that BTS would go political. Yes, they were at that, like, that conference or whatever, but that was like, they just talked general, hey, love yourself, all that stuff. I don't think they would actually endorse somebody because that would just be too risky for that company. But I just think that it's very interesting how, I don't know, the K-pop, I think the K-pop community is also a part of that, like, disengaged voter. Like, a lot of people that are into K-pop want to get away from their regular lives, I feel. Like, they want to, like, they want to, like, be obsessed with these idols because they kind of just feel like their life is not, like, as grandiose and as special and as, like, interesting, I guess. So, well, yeah, what do you think about that? I'm curious.
Oh, I would definitely have to say that I agree. Just the disengagement, and not only in the K-pop community, but definitely in the if you listen to music, I don't know, as a teenager, when I realized that the majority of people that are actually, like, they don't just like buy an album just because they hear it, but when they're really into music, when they were really into a band and like delved and knew everything about them, most of us were depressed and we hated our life and we needed something to escape to. That's how that works. And
exactly.
It's like what you said. It's our escape to reality. We actually had a great idea for a possible band name, which is Escape to Fiction. because that's kind of what we're doing. Whether it's Game of Thrones and Netflix or K-pop, and I mean, like, and again, K-pop community, I guess, like you said, especially because nobody else is making the videos or the reaction videos or the dance videos, or there's a true escapism there. There's a true yearning to be a part of something else, a world that you're not a part of.
Yeah.
You get so emotionally invested that you blur. I mean, like, I know some hardcore K-pop people, and the lines of reality almost get blurred. Just like when you're a hardcore gamer or a musician, you kind of like forget that sometimes like your on-stage personality is not who you are, and your off-stage personality sometimes clashes with that, and then you forget who you are, and you're like, uh-oh, I gotta I gotta come back to reality here. But yeah, and then it also goes back to the vote or die campaign, like we keep saying. That's like, think of all the disengaged voters then that were able to come along because all we did was listen to music. We didn't, we watched MTV and followed our favorite bands, and our favorite bands weren't political. In fact, our favorite bands hate the government. They think that the government oppresses people. They think it pushes people down. Nobody was singing pro-government songs. I mean, I don't think anybody's singing pro-government songs now.
Yeah, BTS is the same way. Their first single, No More Dream, was, their music video was explicit too. Like, it's about how the school system was suppressing kids and their dreams, and they, like, that's one of the things that like made them popular. They're very anti like establishment in that way, was really like kind of crazy, and people hated them at first because they thought they were very like grungy, like hip hop, like rock like group, and that was so different from like the the polished like K-pop. K-pop is still polished. Like, it's actually, I don't really like BTS right now because they're super polished now. But like when they first started off, like they were really like emo, like really just anti everything, and I loved it. And that's what I know. I'm not the only one. You guys miss it too, I'm sure. But yeah, I oh man, I texted you this like, and it's like a very like mid. You guys do not even. I'm going to go into like K-pop right now, but BTS, like their company that they are under is called Big Hit, and they are now partnered with Source Music, which is G-Friend, also known as Yoda Chingu. And they're like a girl group that also did not come from like one of the big three. They're not from like SM Entertainment, not from YG or JYP, right? But they're really popular, and I love them a lot. Now they're, again, like I don't like them as much right now, but now like Source Music and Big Hit, they're like kind of partnered, and I'm hearing word that Big Hit will also acquire another company. They may acquire Pledis Entertainment, which is, I'm really getting into it, which I'm coming around to Yang in a moment. But Pledis is, their big group right now is 17. But they have another group that's been out even longer than 17, but they went through a really rough patch, and now they're kind of like, they've regained a lot of popularity, and that group is Newest. And they're my favorite group right now because how those boys like are still in this entertainment industry and they're just killing it just blows my mind. And that's why I went to KCON like this year. That's why I'm still into K-pop right now. Like, they just blew my mind. I would love for at least, I don't know if they would endorse Yang, but like I just want people to know about Yang and Newest and all these other cool K-pop groups, because there's a lot of correlations, like like we're just talking about. There's a lot of like people are trying to express themselves in a way that their society will not let them express themselves, and that's K-pop is personal to me, so that's why I'm championing for hardcore. And I shared my screen for a moment of people that are like that lady Jian. She was like, wow, like ages are cool now because of K-pop, and somebody had commented like they were all before then. Like, I'm like, they kind of were. Like, anime really put like and like samurai movies and like kung fu movies, but like Asians are freaking cool. Like, and I love that I love that Andrew Yang is Asian, Taiwanese. specifically. It's just like the perfect like accumulation of what we already knew in the back of our minds, but now it's like coming to like actuality is like, yeah, we have a wonderful president, probably like one of the best candidates ever, arguably, definitely one of the most documented, and he's Asian. It's like, who would have thought? You can't even, this is hard, very hard to write this kind of story, but it's happening, y'all. So I'm trying to give the Asian community like a lot of props because you guys are long overdue to one. So that's my take.
Oh yeah. You know, it's whenever you read any or one of my favorite books is 2312 by Kim Stanley Robinson. It's it's set in the year 2312, so that's where the name comes from. And it painted a world where instead of like 1984 where everything's dystopian and sad and depressing, painted this world where things actually made sense. And it called our time now that we're living in, it labeled it as the futile period because we know the problems that we're facing, but we're unwilling to do anything about it. And then came the period of the accelerando, which when all of the things that were plaguing us really hit the fan, we started this huge this next technological step forward. And so that accelerated us to actually go into space and become a spacefaring civilization and all that other stuff, blah, 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 blah. But the really cool takeaway from that is that the world kind of split off and everybody spoke two languages. They spoke Chinese and they spoke English. And then Indian was really big too. And that was like your big three that everyone spoke. And you when you think about it, like by percentage of people, that definitely makes sense. And you look at other like sci-fi stuff like Firefly or Serenity, and they had the same basic idea where, like that's at the end of or at the end of the present where we finally get to the future of things. Yes, like Chinese and English languages are definitely going to be the two dominant languages. You can't go around that. It already is that way. I mean, if you're going to do business, you should learn English, German, and Chinese, and then you're pretty much good for anything.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, and it's coming around to that, and that's kind of what I love is that I'm seeing this whole like futuristic wave that I've been waiting for. Like electric cars are a thing. Singapore is building buildings that have forests with part of this as part of the structure. We actually have prototypes of flying cars, which just completely boggles my mind. Somebody just that French engineer just broke the record, or set a world record for flying over the English Channel on a hoverboard. So like we're I don't know, even like when Felix Baumgartner, when he jumped out of the hot air balloon and did like the world's tallest skydive, we're getting to this point in time where like I want the future to be real. I want us to acknowledge the future. I want us to respect the past. Absolutely. Like respect it, learn from it. Don't repeat the same mistakes that we used to. But we got to step into this mindset of the future and where we live in. The fact that we are sitting here connected by the cell phone is absolutely, it's amazing. It's amazing. And it's only been 12 years since we've really started doing that. 2007, that was the first smartphone. 2007, not a long time ago. Not even a little bit. that is a blip, but it's completely changed everything that we do in the world. I know, and like the countries that don't have it, they are trying to have it.
Yeah.
And the countries who have it, they're already thinking beyond it. And I almost didn't even buy a smartphone because I was thinking like, I'm waiting till they make a 3D printer that is connected to the smartphone so I can just extract molecules from the real world and then just 3D print something that I need. And you know, we're pretty far away from something like that. And, you know, that physics is basically that's impossible. But the thing is, like, we're going there. We didn't
Yeah.
think this was gonna be possible. So like, we need to, and then like that's the abundance mindset. That's understanding that like you aren't,
Yes.
you're not, nobody's forcing you to do what you're doing. You have to make a choice about what it is that you want to do, and that choice shouldn't be based off of, you know, what you heard on the news, what your parents told you, even what your friends tell you. You should look inside yourself and say, what is this world? Where am I, and how can I be a part of it? And you know, and be a part of it in a way that we're going to go forward instead of regress to something that feels comfortable. You know, comfort is, I guess that's, it's like, I'll just leave it off on like, comfort is a sign of stagnancy. When you're comfortable with something, you're gonna start turning into a couch potato. You're gonna start regressing. Like, don't be comfortable. Be, you know, be uncomfortable, and then find a way for you to be comfortable with that discomfort. Because when you do that, that's your constant progress. When you're feeling stupid because you can't solve a problem, or when you're feeling let down because what you wanted to happen didn't happen, take that with you, and then keep going with it until it feels right. Like, that's what being true to yourself really is. That's what the K-pop community really embodies. You know, when it first came out, everyone was like, this is stupid, this is just pop, and it's fake, and I hate it. And then, like, all the haters, you know, their hate didn't do anything, and it just empowered those weirdos like us. They're like, yeah, we're gonna make videos, you know, we're gonna be different, we're gonna dress different, we're gonna sing different, we're gonna act different, we're gonna feel, and that's part of the future. Like, whenever everybody was making the joke back in the day, where there was Family Guy or American Dad, that like, oh, the future of music is like this techno Asian hip hop stuff. Like, there it
Oh my
is.
God, are you kidding me? Is that really? Oh my God, I used to watch Family Guy all the time too. But like, what did they say?
Yeah, it was an American Dad joke that yeah, no, and I mean, like, whenever you saw like futuristic things, it would always just be like this big-eyed anime character with some kind of robot things, you know, like that's what we think about when we think of the future, like some kind of weird anime robot that is really, really attractive, but at the same time, like, really, really deadly, and just shooting and killing and destroying everything. But of course, you know, she's wearing a schoolgirl outfit because that's you know, that's like mainstream perception. That's like mainstream American perception of the Asian culture, which isn't great, but it does make them look really, really cool, like you said.
It will slowly improve, or evolve, rather. It's not like the schoolgirl outfit is bad, but it's just, yeah, we can do better.
Well, yeah, it's misogynistic. You're just like, oh, why are we doing that? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably because we've like, you know, made that into a into the perfect fantasy. Like, now that's what everybody says, and it's acceptable. But like, and then you talk to people like, well, so it's acceptable to you know, basically be racist against one type of people, but also be pedophilic on a sexual subject. That's the norm now. That's not normal.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Double standards. Oh my God. Yeah, so thank you for hearing me out on my K-pop. You know, I'll probably.
Oh no, you're absolutely right. The Cape, like, we need, so as if it's your, like, it's your last. Is that the name of the song?
As if it's your last.
As if it's your last. That's right. So that's like, I definitely want to make an Andrew Yang video to that. Like,
really?
I don't know when. Like, but we got to do it. We
should definitely
plan it out.
I can learn that
and
dance. I would love to learn that dance. That's probably my favorite song of theirs, for real. Yeah. Oh my God.
Well, that's like the idea is that, you know, it's vote. You're gonna vote like it's your last, because you know, vote for something that isn't gonna take care of everyone, or vote for something that is gonna take care of everyone. There's two choices. Like, do you want us to be happy and healthy and love each other, or do you want us to be hateful and spiteful and regressive?
Yeah. God, man, like, I know we have plenty of time, but like, I am really like, I'm kind of concerned about the primaries because I don't think people understand how important that is for him to get the primary vote. I just don't. What else can we? This is I just now on my notes. I'm just curious, like, because I love your idea of like definitely contacting like or making sure local bands and artists in early voting states do know at least know about Yang.
Mm-hmm.
Really important. I don't know how to go about it. Like, I don't want to like seem preachy to people. Like, I don't want to like go on like like I don't know. Like, I want this to be as organic as possible. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So it's not about being preachy, but it's about offering an opportunity. I think the number one thing the Yang Gang has to offer to these bands and what Andrew Yang, I mean, it's opportunity. Andrew Yang is offering the opportunity for artists to be free, period. Every artist will understand with $1,000 a month, I'm going on tour. Every band is going on tour. Music is going to thrive.
Yeah.
Poetry is going to thrive. Writers are going to thrive. That's just, art is going to be so huge. Everybody's going to want to be an artist. Parents are going to push their kids to be artists because they're like, well, with universal basic income, you can make it. And artists are also philanthropic. Like many people that get into they're not all musicians. They some of them, they're gonna go into recording. They're gonna go into producing. They're gonna go into promoting. They're gonna just run venues. They're gonna write. There's so many. They're gonna do lighting. They're gonna do stage work, music videos. I mean, there's so much work to be done. And that when artists don't feel obligated, like we feel obligated to pay, but we can't always pay. So it's an investment that we want people to make in us. But now where everybody's getting this, it's like, okay, well, let's all pull our UBI together and let's dump some money into some advertisement, dump some money into a music video, and then we'll all get paid off of it because we all did it. But then, okay, so I'm getting a little bit off subject, but that's the opportunity that Andrew Yang offers. And then what the Yang Gang offers is the opportunity of like, we will get you a crowd. You will have, and not just a crowd, but a meaningful crowd. You don't just want like a crowd that doesn't matter. And especially if you're a band that's conscious or punky or whatever, you have a message. You want a crowd that matters. And that's what the Yang Gang says, like, if you're a band that plays and you want to play for us, we will come out and support you. And if you can help get Yang elected, we will all be supported. And so my idea is to if I would create a fan page for Reverb Nation, and I would create a fan page for Bandcamp, and I would create a fan page for SoundCloud, and I would look at the charts, and I would look at at new releases, especially new releases of who just put something up, who just made a song and wrote it. And then I would also look at the most active on those pages too, because you can sort it like that. And then just get that email, make a really, really nice, drop a really nice email about your proposal of like, this is what the Yang Gang and Andrew Yang wants to do. Like, come join us for the support, because if we all do this together, we, just like we keep saying, and Andrew said this in a tweet earlier, the Yang Gang is going to go on regardless of what happens to Andrew.
Yes.
And so we have the ability to create our own corporation right now.
Yeah.
We have our own community, our own conglomerate, so to speak, that, there's going to be artists and there's also going to be, non-artists. There's going to be the creators, and there's going to be the consumers. But besides that, you're also going to have your coders and your website designers and your doctors. And once you realize who is who, then you're like, well, wait a minute, I need a medical staff for this tour. Oh, we got a medical staff. Okay, awesome. Come on down then and work with us, and you'll get paid for this tour. It's like, oh, well, we also need some roadies, so who wants to help out with that? We need somebody to run sound because we want our sound to be perfect. We want a good sound guy. Come on down, run sound for us. But that's just the art point of view of it. Like, there's still the entrepreneurship point of view of it. Like, we're going to talk about malls, but like what is going to be the next wave of businesses that we're going to put into these rundown or abandoned strip malls. So there's going to be an entrepreneurship side to it as well. There's going to be a human side to it. Like, we're all volunteers. We all obviously value work that we don't get paid for more than the work that we do get paid for, because we know what's important and what isn't. And just because I'm getting paid to be a server at a high-end restaurant doesn't mean that I'm going to value that work more than whenever I step outside and play my music for somebody who's down on their luck and they're like, wow, that really cheered me up. And guess which one is more meaningful? Guess which one helps me to live longer too, or makes me feel better as a person, or validates me to not go ahead and commit suicide, validates me to continue to living, that reminds me that life is still worth it. Because most of the other work that we do is not an affirmation of life at all.
I love that every time when Yang says this, I love it. I'm glad he got to say this in his second debate. Of how he says, raise your hand if you woke up today and you're excited about contributing to GDP. Nobody thinks that. They're not thinking, oh wow, I'm gonna affect the economy. Yay, I'm a good citizen. It's no, we're trying to think of how can we, create a good relationship with X, Y, and Z, my parents, my friends, I don't know, a stranger, like you said. How can I actually make another person happy and get that, oh wow, and get that, is it interest? Yeah, intrinsic value, I think, yeah, intrinsic value. I know I'm getting dark, I'm trying to chase the light. I'm I don't have my ring light here. Sorry guys. It's here, but it's in my closet. I have to go in there and get it. But yeah, gosh. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the malls. I wanted to say something really quick. Oh, well, yeah, so your job. So when you said that you were probably gonna quit your job when this work comes along, I'm right on freaking board. I'm I don't know if I would be, I would love to be on your tour. I would love to travel with you guys. But in the same vein, I'm dude, I'm this freaking close to just quitting my freaking job. Cause I every time I go in there, I'm just dude, I feel I'm just wasting my fucking time. And I get shut up. But I'm wasting my time and get me the hell out of here. And like you said, I do have the power to leave. It's just that again, it's where would I even go? How would I even get money? Is that scarcity mindset that's crushing me? And I'm oh gosh, what the hell should I do? Obviously I should probably yeah, sorry.
You know what? Right now, the reason why I want to kind of just up and leave is I know where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go where Yang is. I'm going to wherever he needs a sign, wherever he needs support, wherever he needs people on the ground to help him to go and make it to a rally. That's gonna be where I want to be. At that Iowa Street Fair, the people that were, or the Iowa Fair, people that were following him around, that's perfect. If there's a band that's following him around, that's talking to other musicians, that's getting other artists involved, they're just really just there to be hey, we're, not everybody that's involved in politics is kind of the stiff wearing a tie, and that's the whole point of Yang's campaign. We're just because we look a certain way, or we act a certain way, or we talk a certain way, or we think a certain way, it doesn't mean that we can't be involved in this really, really, really important discussion of how can we all make the world a better place. And that's something that Yang kind of reminded us of, is hey, you might be disengaged, but if you're working towards making things better, let's do this right now. Let's just make it happen right now, because I see enough people that want to make things better. I see enough individuals that are trying to make an impact. Almost every day you can go and find a new YouTube video with someone that decided to clean up the trash in their neighborhood, someone that decided to jump into the ocean and clean up the trash, someone that decided to, I don't know, do something to themselves to make the world a better place. And now if you think, if we can get if we can just get all of those people on the Yang Gang and just doing good things while wearing a math hat, while sporting the, Humanity First shirts, that's what's going to change. Is we have to all be there on the ground doing the good things, and leading by example, showing people that it's worth it to just go and pick up the trash in your neighborhood, and it's worth it to just talk to someone when it looks like they're not having a good day. It's worth it to pass, a street person and see that they're not, they're down, and you just come up to them and you sit down and they'll ask you for money and you say you got none, but just have a conversation and ask them how their day has been, and really just ask them how their day has been. I'm sure that you've never experienced, like most of us have never experienced a day like they have. And regardless of what kind of day they've had, it'll be a story that you've never heard before. And then if you ask how their week has been going, you'll probably be right there on the ground with them going, oh my gosh, this is terrible and hopeless. And that's why this campaign is important. More and more people turn to that hopelessness. And then we like you said, like we push out this GDP report and we're saying how everything's great and everybody's working and, everything's fantastic, but it's not. Go on social media, see how many people are crying into YouTube, see how many people are tweeting about suicide, see how many people are, Facebooking about, oh, I'm going to delete my Facebook account because I can't handle it anymore. It's become a joke. We've become so desensitized.
Yeah, a lot of people use social media as their like what they wish they were. Like they only show their highlight reels, and they know it's like the what's it called? It's disconnect. Like you're making a disconnect in your mental state. I forget what it's called, but you're projecting this perfect life, or what you think is a perfect life, when really like your reality is not that, and that takes a toll on your mental state. Like that's actually not healthy to be in that state. You're lying to yourself. Yeah, and that's why people will get off of Facebook and Twitter, and that's why a lot of YouTubers be like, I'm quitting YouTube and like I can't handle it anymore. Like I know that was like a joke in like 2017 or 18 or whatever like that, like everybody was quitting YouTube, but like that was like a real problem. Like they didn't know, they didn't have a purpose. Like of course they love to create and they love to connect with people, but after a while, especially if you're like famous or if you're like kind of popular, after a while it's like you just have this like channel and like you used to get the same old, you start to feel kind of dead inside, and that's real,
Oh yeah, even as a musician it feels the same way. And like in 2013 I this is actually going to lead into the mall thing, because in 2013 I got really bored and I was playing in 3 bands, and that was the most successful time for music for me, because we were having house shows that were like 100, 200, 300 people sometimes. Like police were coming to our house, but we had it figured out so well that they would come to our house because there's a party going on, and we would have like a door person and security and everything, that we would mark X's on people's hands to make sure that they were like they're of, this is like the person with an X is 18, the person without an X is 21, because we check IDs at the door. And they left, like the police wouldn't bother us, and we were just having a house show. But then like I got seriously bored. Like I'm like, what, like you said, like what is this all for? What am I even doing? And then, I started looking at the idea that what does everyone do for entertainment? And they eat or they drink, and that's it. And you can go out to an opera or to a movie or to a concert, but it's going to be accompanied with a hot dog and a beer or a soda, whatever it is that you're going to have. Like, I'm not just saying alcohol, but yeah, like our entertainment is locked in to food and drink, which is how we used to celebrate. That is entertainment. It's how we used to celebrate primally. That's the most basic form of dopamine and endorphin and all that kind of other stuff. But so the idea was, we don't really have anything to do. And we used to just go out and hang out at malls, but that's not an option anymore. And if it is, you're going to go to that really, really, really big mall. And, now I've had the way everybody feels about high fashion and stuff like that, the way it's like dirtying up our, and polluting, and, like Spencer's is great, but do we really need like a glow in the dark 3-pronged dildo? Probably not. We don't need a lava lamp glow in the dark dildo.
Same with Hot Topic. I love Hot Topic.
Any of that stuff. But so, and then the other thing is like strip malls and malls are closing. So there's also that. And I thought about it. I'm like, okay, so what if we create a place that is actually about entertainment and about entertaining people? And I thought, like, well, what do artists need? Artists need a space to just always be able, like, every band is looking for, a group or a writer, they're always looking for a place where they can just go and perform. So you need a 24-hour or I'll explain why, but 22-hour stage. It's always on. There's always somebody there. Well, because sometimes artists they can't sleep, and you just got to go and you just got to go and do your thing.
We'll be right
so you go and do your thing, and this would be anybody's open if you're good, and if you can do it for over half hour, 40 minutes. Great, we'll tell you you're good. We're going to ask you to come back again, and we'll pay you for your time. That's going to be the idea of like bringing them in. If you suck, we're going to tell you suck, and we're going to be like, try harder. We're going to be honest. We're going to let you up on stage, but we're going to be like, it's not even about the fact that you didn't bring anybody on stage. You just stink. So
like comedy club.
Yeah, like get a better act. But anyway, so you come in and there's that stage. And then on the right side, you would have like a little lounge area, some couches, some pool tables, darts, air hockey, bubble hockey, foosball, anything that you could think of. Like that. And then on the, and that's going to be like another big area. And then on the left side of the stage, the next big area, you're going to have a video game console room, because the biggest thing that gamers complain about is not being able to play with each other. We all remember like hooking up our Segas and PlayStations and 2-player games and go. And now we do it online. But like now we're just getting yelled at by like 12-year-olds that are just like, I'm gonna pwn you.
Yeah, it's annoying. Like gay and nigger and all that stuff. It's like, wow.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't want that. So like we created a video game console room where you can go in, and so and then on the second floor, I want a Star Wars Battlefront laser tag. And I want it to be. Oh my God. It doesn't have to be Star Wars because it doesn't have to be Star Wars because it's copyrighted. But you can just say like space laser tag. And the reason I want it to be space is because every 3 months I want the artists, the like installation people, to like draw up a new design. So like you're fighting on a frozen planet with like, or you're fighting on a desert planet, or you're fighting on a forest planet or an underwater planet. So that would be really cool. And so like how does this work? There's no food, there's no drink. It's a hub for people to come in, and it'll actually grow business around it, because we're not competing with the businesses. We're just giving people a place to go and meet up, and then when they get hungry or thirsty, they can go to the businesses around me and purvey those places and then come back. And so how does this work? You come in, there's going to be a charge. Like it's going to be like something stupid, silly, like $7
like dirt cheap.
And then like I'd like to make it $5, but like $5 footlongs aren't a thing anymore.
I know.
So let's just make it a $7 thing. So it's $7, and you get a half-day pass. Now the half-day pass is from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. Oh no, it's 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and then we close down from 8 to 9, and then it becomes 18 and over. Because we don't want to deal with curfew, but we also like that other time you want children to have something to do, because right now kids literally have nothing to do. They can't even go out and drink. And if you're anybody that's under 20, if you're 18 to 21 and you're not of drinking age, you're an adult and you're stuck with nothing to do. So that's the point. It's 22 hours a day. We close down just so we can get kids and adults in there. You pay. What your admission gets is your admission gets you the stage, and your admission gets you the hangout area, like the pool, the bubble hockey, and then you have to pay per hour or per day, half day, however you want to do it, for the video game room, and then you're gonna have to pay for the for the laser tag individually too. Yeah, but it's still, and then I didn't include writers into this, but they obviously are included because I want a Kindle library. And the reason for a Kindle library is because if you're a writer or a journalist or whatever it is that you want to do, you know, upload it. Upload your stuff into our Kindle library database, and locals are going to be able to read your stuff.
Wait,
so.
Oh my god, I'm like literally freaking out, guys. You don't even know. Okay, I have to ask this because like this hit a nerve for me. Because I love. Do you know what Wattpad is, or like that website where people can upload their like online stories and stuff, writing and stuff? It's very.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of where like it's like really it was made for like fiction, like fan fiction, like people writing about like I don't know, like vampires and werewolves and stuff. But like I'm curious, will that have, obviously it'll have like restriction of like how explicit can you get? But I have to ask, because I was a part of this community a lot, like how explicit can we get with like the writing material here? Like obviously I have like there needs to be rules set in place, like you can't do anything illegal there, like, you know, but like there's a lot of great stories that I have read on Wattpad that were explicit, but they were good. So I want to make sure people like that have that gift of writing also can go up here, you know?
Well, so yeah, like for the, I mean, you would have to submit it to us. You can't just, it wouldn't just be like a free uploading thing.
Okay.
You know, you'd have to come up to us and be like, hey, I'm a writer, and I want to upload my stuff, and we'd be like, great, like, you know, is your stuff online or is it on paper? And they'll be like, it's on paper, and I'll be like, great, let me read it. And I mean, yeah, like you're gonna have to like,
dude, we would have like,
gonna be, you know, like, that's gonna be an awesome job. I'm just because I'm thinking the only employees that are gonna be of this place is security, because I don't want anything to happen to anyone. There's gonna be children there. I just need to make sure that everything's safe. That like no fuckery is going on, as I like to call it. But so it's all security, and anybody, and the other people that are going to be involved are going to be the people that are involved in the art aspect of it. You know, you're probably going to have some gamers that are going to want to like host giant parties and stuff like that. You're going to have some, kids' birthday parties for the laser tag. Absolutely. Like I'll rent that place out for the day. But it'll just be a hub, and then explicit content. I love explicit content. There's nothing wrong with it. Even, you know, no matter how crazy you get with it. I've never read 50 Shades of Grey, and that's not my thing, but I get it. Like, I get it.
I don't
people
like
need that stuff.
Yeah.
But you know that you could it's, and then it works like Harry Potter. You can have a restricted section of the library, you know, or you know, it'll be like, here's, you know, it'll just be based on criteria where you're just like, oh yeah, you can rent out a Kindle library, but then, or one of the Kindles, and it'll have the artist stuff on there, and it'll just have like, this is explicit content, this isn't explicit content, and a book's a book, and at the end of the day, any child can go into the library and look at a book that has some really explicit stuff into it. But what's wonderful is, as long as a child is looking at a book, that's step one. You know, even if that kid picked up the Kama Sutra, even if he's looking at the Kama Sutra, great. At least he decided to open up a book instead of go on a website, you know? So,
at least,
like, I don't want to, but then the idea is like, if it's, we live in a day and age now where it's like certain things are intolerable. Like there's no hate speech, no nothing. So that's why, and like, there's gonna be a person in charge of like what's appropriate, what's not appropriate to go into this. And I've done the math on this thing. It's gonna cost me about $500,000 to sustain itself for about a year, and then this thing is just gonna, because when you think about the amount of money you're gonna make just from traffic, just from curiosity, just from it being the only thing of its kind, just from it catering to not just the nerds but also the artists, but like it's bringing all of the disengaged people together. Like this would be like the Yang Gang hub, where it's like, oh, are you a bunch of people that like hate the real world and just have no faith for humanity, so you don't want to have children, and you're thinking about running away from your house or your job every single day? Come hang out here for a little while and like get your stress, like release some stress.
Yeah.
And it'll be huge for communities too, because you put one of these for every 2 small cities. Like, yeah, Detroit would have like its own, or maybe 2 even. But when you think of like the smaller municipalities, the smaller localities, the like really tiny rural areas, you put one of those between 2 or 3, and people aren't gonna want to go downtown anymore.
Oh
People
my
are gonna want to stay and spend money in their community. You're gonna rethink the way we do zoning. You're gonna rethink what kind of businesses we want to take in. This business totally falls in line with not just what's happening with the malls, but also with the idea of humanity first and people helping each other, because like, and starting to think about things in a different way, because you're not just incentivizing businesses that are going to make money for the community. This is a type of business that's going to bring community camaraderie better. It's going to, like the type of, you can even have like a work study program with people that, and have it be like college based and high school based. Since we, like before, I was thinking of doing strip malls, which were a lot smaller, but now that I'm thinking malls, you can literally have like urban farming as part of this program, to where you supply you supply restaurants from around your area with like freshly grown. Yeah, with freshly grown, and like it's not going to be a lot, but the whole thing is you can then start working with, because it is meant
Oh
for
my God,
children.
we have animals. We can have an animal farm. Oh my God, Sergey.
You have an animal farm, but yeah, no, and then like the opportunities are endless. And so like, but if you're going to involve urban farming, you can involve like different high schools and colleges that are like, hey, do you want to learn how to farm within a city? Do you want to have this skill? Do you want to just kind of intern here? And this will give, you don't have to now go woofing or working while on organic farms. You don't have to leave your place. You don't have to leave everybody behind. You now have this place in your municipality that you can go and learn from. And like it almost sounds like a rec center. It almost sounds like a what was that I can't even remember. Dave and Buster's. It sounds like a rec center.
Oh
Dave
my
and Buster's.
God, I love Dave and
with
Buster's.
like with a venue and laser tag. but it's it is all of those things. It's a gathering place, and it's a place for a community to be like, that's our place. Oh, and by the way, the name of this place is gonna sell itself, because the name of this place is going to be Let's Go.
Ooh.
And so when somebody out of town comes in and they don't know about this place, and everybody's like, oh, like what's there to do around here? And you look at your buddies and you're like, let's go. And this out of town dude is like, I don't know what you're talking about. And everybody else looks around at him and they're like, let's go. And then you get to the place and it says, let's go right there on the on the thing. And you're like, oh, let's go. Also, that's going to be my commercial for it.
That's hilarious. In Korean, it would be say "kaja." That's how they say "let's go." Or
Kacha?
"kata." Yeah.
Kacha.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like ahead. Like I'm just. It probably will catch on internationally. Because I'm always thinking that way. I'm like, listen, like I have to think that way now. Like this the internet has made things so much. This has made things so awesome.
It's global economy. Yep. Go ahead.
Man, when you explained your ideas, guys, I had the biggest freaking smile on my face, because the kind of stuff that I remember as a kid, like I used to want to be. Now, a lot of people don't. Okay, this is like really getting into like my childhood. People close to me know that I wanted to be an architect for the longest time. And I would like draw sketches and like building like bird's eye view layouts of like an amusement park, or like something so what you just described, like one part where people can like go and like there'd be like a water park, and another place people can do like, I don't know, like maybe tag or whatever. Like I used to love this idea of like, can we all just like come into a place and just have fun? And I thought it was very interesting because, like you said, like I love food too. So like, what we're gonna do about food? But I thought it was very interesting that you said that, okay, let's have those businesses that are going to naturally compete with each other. That's totally fine. But let's have those businesses far away, so people have to like go be separate from this area to kind of to alleviate people of like this constant, oh wait, I have to buy this, or I have to do this. Like, well, it will have to buy stuff, but can they bring food in like to the area?
Yeah, Oh yeah, no, that it would be. That's why, like, I'd want this place to not, if it wouldn't be far away, like
Yeah,
wherever this small
you know.
town, wherever this small town has its like restaurant chains and stuff, or like not chains, but like they're like local restaurants. And I would be far away from the Fridays, the Applebee's. Like, no, I don't want those people to get business. I
Got
want
it.
like the ma and pa. I want like, where is that little Italian restaurant?
Uh,
Where is that little Russian restaurant? Where is that little Korean restaurant? And where are they all centered? Because usually, like, there is sort of a central place, or like the main road, the main street. That's how I enter the main streets of America. Put it on the main streets of America where all of our local businesses converge, and let my business be a beacon for the people that live in those small towns to go and gather around. And then when they go to that beacon, they will look around and they'll be like, oh wow, look at all these great little quaint little spots that we can also go hang out in. So like I said, you get thirsty and you go get a drink at a bar, then you get a little hungry, you get yourself a euro and maybe some sushi, and then you come right back to this place and you're just chilling with your friends. And that's why you get a half day pass. What would be great is if we can like combine the tour and this mall idea into one. So what we do is we have the concerts we try and have them at the rundown malls, at the closed down little strip malls, and we build a few, and we talk about like, this is the future that we want to see in this mall. We want this beacon for small towns to exist, to say that like, we don't have to leave our towns to go have fun. We can create a place and fill it with other stuff that all of us love and just have fun. Because everybody, like, like when I first started describing this idea to people, uh, everybody was like, they didn't hear me that there was an idea, because by the middle of it, they're just like listening to all these really fun things, and they were like, where is this? Like, what are
Yeah,
you talking about?
they
Can
want
we
to
go?
go.
Like, where am I going? Where are we? Let's go where? And I'm like, no, 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 I'm kidding. Like, this is my idea. We don't have this yet. It doesn't exist. And isn't it a shame that it doesn't?
Oh my god, I'm literally dying. Okay, yes. So, okay, yeah, what you said about having kids needing a place to go and like be in society. Like, when I was growing up, it's not even long ago, but like in my childhood, I grew up from in like when I moved to Delaware, it was 2003. No, 2001, but I was 3 years old. And basically, like, really, McDonald's was like the place where like you went to like hang out.
Right? I know. I remember that.
Fucked up is like, oh wait, this giant corporation that's just feeding you junk food. That's where, and this creepy clown. Like, let's be real. I'm not afraid of clowns, but like, come on, Ronald,
Oh, Ronald McDonald's the creepy clown. Yes, he's a creepy clown.
It's just so, yeah, very twisted way of like. It's a false sense of like community, I guess you can call it that. It's just McDonald's was a place where they sell you stuff, and we're trying, and that's why we are in a place where we are right now, where everybody is obsessed with like eating junk food, and like not just McDonald's, but like McDonald's really set that pamphlet of like Burger King doing it, Wendy's, and then just outside of food like yeah, very unhealthy consumerism. Consumerism.
Yes.
What you want to do is to help kids truly just see what they like. That's why there's still, you have the video games, and or you have the pool if you want to get active, and or the laser tag or the Kindle library. You have all these very naturally things that are just natural for us to love and appreciate, and then just to think how many people would like just like make friends and stuff. Like, obviously it wouldn't be like the perfect place in the world. There's gonna be like jerks that are gonna come there, but at least like.
Oh, but that's why don't forget, that's exactly why the only people that I employ is security. Because I don't have to sell food. I don't need a waiter. I don't need a restaurant manager. I don't need a bartender. I don't need a busboy. I just need I just need people to watch over people and to make sure no one's acting.
Yeah. Oh my God. Do we lose him? No! Oh my God, I can't hear you anymore. But I understand what you're trying to say. Yeah. Okay, you're frozen, so that's why, I cannot hear you anymore, Sergey. But, YouTube, hey, what do you guys think of this idea? Literally, I know, Andrew Yang wants to rebuild and restructure our malls. In some way, he hasn't gotten into specifics like Sergey is getting into, and I think that Sergey, Andrew Yang should really hire Sergey. Okay, there he goes. Should really hire Sergey for just like this idea. This is huge. Like when I said when I was a kid, I used to kind of want this kind of idea, but I didn't have really a name for it. Like I want this idea. Number one, first and foremost, like outside of Yang becoming president, which he definitely will. He needs to wow. We gotta do this shit. This will get done. Absolutely. And I'll get into this when Sergey comes back. Hopefully he comes back. But when Gary Vaynerchuk, if you guys don't know him, I'm sorry. I'm a super fan. If you don't know him, I'm sorry. But if you do know him, you'll know what I'm talking about. Gary Vaynerchuk has always said, there will be hubs of people, doing meditations. That's going to be the new cool thing to do, not to go to, I don't know what people do now. But, that would be the new thing to go out and do, that, to go out and meditate with people, or to go out and, in this case, play laser tag with somebody, or go out and go into a Kindle library and, read online books with people and just sit there and have a good time. That's going to be the future, and that's what we want. Don't you want that shit? Oh my God. And then the kid, that would just make his way more happier. I mean, if I was a kid growing up, I would never leave this place. It's good that Sergey said that it would be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Obviously, kids can stay up late. I mean, I can. Listen, sorry, kids. You have to. Maybe I don't know his age limit. But I'm assuming maybe it's when you're it's probably gonna be when you're probably a lot older, 16 or something, that you can stay up after to the 9 p.m. and after opening. I'm also gonna ask him if it's gonna be another half day thing, if it's gonna be in 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. or in this case 7 a.m. in the morning. That'd be kind of wild, guys. I don't know. There's some interesting stuff happening in that time frame. But yeah, I would just die just staying up. I'm a night owl for real, just staying up 2 a.m. playing laser tag. That would be my life, and then I sleep during the day. So I have to worry about kids. I don't want kids. So I would just sleep during the day where all the kids are up and about and doing whatever. And then I would get up at nighttime and have fun with various amounts of people and stuff like that. We really did lose Sergey, for real. Well, and yeah, the name of the place would be Let's Go. It would be stationed throughout many cities, not just major cities, but many rural places as well. Yeah. Oh my God. What are things that I have in my notes? That was jam-packed. I cannot, there should be we should definitely have a podcast or an episode of this just dedicated to that mall idea, and definitely have Robb and or Mark, and or if you want to join, hey, hit me up in those Twitter DMs / Facebook DMs / email, all this in the description below. You know, like we can hook you guys up. Just, you know, send me your email and I can just attach you to the Zoom. This Zoom chat literally just takes an email. And or if you want to be like a part, like if you want to just like be a part of the regular like show or whatever, definitely like we could we do have a MMS chat group chat. If you know, I mean, like obviously you guys don't know us like that, so you don't have to give us your number. But if you like are really into us like that, we can like message you directly and be part of the group. Oh my god, I'm about to sneeze. Sorry guys. Okay. Let me message Sergey and see if I should continue. Yeah. I'm so freaking excited. Wow. If you guys are still watching this, thank you for staying this long. I know this has been a long episode. I love long episodes. Like, trust me, I love this shit. If I could do something for a living, literally, it would be this. Podcasting and or traveling and meeting you guys, or like going on this like tour and like spring. Like oh my god, guys, like literally, I just want to freaking quit my job for freaking real, so freaking bad. And it's not even like I'm making that much money. Like I'm not even making that much money. It's just like me and my freaking security problems. Not even a problem. Like it's just a lot. I just feel like I'm putting too much pressure on myself. And then I don't want to ask you guys for money. Like I don't want to be like, okay, like I don't want to do it. But I may have to. And by that, I'm just like it's going to be very difficult because I know as soon as when money's in the equation, people get defensive and they get like, oh shit, they're coming after my bank account. But no, I'm not coming after anybody's bank account. I'm just saying that I would love to just for a living, just point blank, period. And if you guys, oh my god. And if you guys, if even one person, if you want to help contribute to this channel, to me, to Sergey, and to Rob, I'll make sure to spread the money out in various places. I want to use a lot of my money to help other people out too. There's a lot of people that I see like that I want so badly to give my money to and so badly to donate to. For instance, like Grassroots Campaign, I haven't donated to them. Like I know I'm like a terrible freaking gang member. I want to do that. I do that for them. Problem Solver Politics, I want to donate to them. I did donate to Dave from PRM, but like so many more people. Seth from Dividend Report, so many people that I want to spread the love, and I just want all of us to help each other to survive so we can do what we want to do. To not work our bullshit jobs and to carry on and to be miserable and to want to kill ourselves every time we're at our jobs. I don't want that anymore. I don't want that for any of you guys. So I want to help. I'm all in. I'm all in this Yang Gang movement. I'm telling you, you can't take me out. I'm in it to win it. I'm gonna have to stop this because like my nose is runny. Like Jesus Christ, dude. His phone probably died or something. That happens to me all the time. Don't even worry about it. But yeah, man, guys, that was oh man. Any guys, let's talk about it. Let's chat about it in the comments below. Share the video. I mean, shit. We're freaking killing it. Like I'm not gonna lie, like we're freaking killing it. Sergey is awesome. He talks a lot. But he has a lot of good shit to say, and Robb is amazing. Robb is still in Ireland, I believe, so that's why he can be with us for that long, because in the East Coast in America, your phone died. In East Coast in America, like we started the stream at like 6:30, but over there in Ireland is 11:30. So it's pretty late, and the internet is not the best over there. So he has to be at this, like, he has to go at a cafe or like a pub or somewhere to get internet. He can't just do it at like his home, or not home, but like at his stay or whatever, his flat or whatever. So he has to abide by, closing hours from a pub. So that's why he couldn't be with us for that long. Took me like 10 minutes to like send that text to Sergey. Hey, Sergey, did your phone die? That's all I had to say. It took me like 10 minutes to text that. And then water's over there. I mean, like, I may end this because I may end this just for me. I haven't eaten at anything literally all day, and it's 8 p.m. and I worked. It's only for 5 hours, but mind you, I hate my job, so that's another thing. I mean, I had like some like chocolate or whatever and some gummies, but like that's not really food that you want to depend on for your life. Yeah. Oh shit, I'm doing another freaking like Zoom call in like 2 hours. Yeah, I should probably go, guys. Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording now and eat. But we got basically all of our bullet points like covered, really. So I'm glad that before we left, we at least got that. But great conversation. Honestly, my mind is blown. Yeah, it is. I know you couldn't see me, guys, because he was talking, so the screen was on him. But like when he was explaining this idea, like I had the biggest smile on my face. I had to suppress it because it was so big. I was gonna hurt my mouth. Okay, guys, that's it. I mean, like I'll show you guys this one thing last. When they were wait, he recorded. I haven't ended it yet. Ended the recording yet. If you wanna hop on to help me close. Hop on it. I was gonna say hop on it again. You can. It's the same Zoom link. I'm surprised Zoom is like still letting us record this and like have our meeting. It's been like literally like 2 hours. It's been literally 2 hours. Oh, I haven't sent it. Send it. He's dumb. I was about to freak out. I decided not to. Yep. I love this freaking hat, dude. Thank you, Andrew Hector, for gifting me this hat. It's wonderful. So maybe Sergey will come back on again. I don't know. I'm like, I really, man, I would hate for this to end on such a high note. Yeah, but it's okay. He doesn't want to enjoy. It's okay. It's like oh, it's like oh, oh. I knew you would come back. Yeah, I've had my fair share of phone dying age, so I understand. For your lighting situation again, I know, right?
Oh yeah. Well, no. Now I'm actually the. It's not so much the lighting situation as it is the where do I plug my phone in situation.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I'm about to go to band practice, but I still got a couple minutes, so it's not bad. So what did you think about what's your opinion on Let's Go and how do we frickin' make it happen?
I think the way we make it happen is to keep doing stuff like this. Like if we just had like a side like podcast of like Let's Go, like yanking the podcast or something like that, just explain to people what it is, that would catch on like wildfire, first of all. And of course, like, man, I don't know how, I know Andrew Yang has a policy dealing with malls, but I don't think he's like as detailed and specific as you are. So I don't know, like, if we should, like, you should, I mean, I said this to these people while you were gone, like, you should definitely work for Andrew Yang for real, because, like, I don't know, like, he would love this idea, I think. And just, I don't even know, like, who to even, like, tell this to, because this is, like, breaking it. Okay, I'll tell you this. Like, Gary Vaynerchuk, he has mentioned in, like, a lot of times in his previous videos on his blog, like he thinks the future is like people, like I said before, going to like meditation bars and like hanging out, and that's like gonna be the cool thing to do. Like that is one example of what this whole thing can be, is people hanging out and doing cool stuff like that. I don't know, like Gary Vaynerchuk is really big. I don't know if we can do business with him, but again, like people are at least aware that this idea exists. That's the first step, I think, and then it will probably take off from there. That's my intuition. I'm not like I'm only 20 years old, but now I would love to work with you on this. Like this is like big, really big. I just love it so much.
Yeah, and that's like, yeah, I don't know. That's why, like, I'm really, I want to figure out a way. I think I'm gonna probably the volunteer leader Slack. I have to let them know about this tour that I'm planning.
Oh my god!
And just be like I need your help. Like I cannot do this without you guys. Like this is why we have volunteer Slack. And I mean, like, I want to say like what everyone else is doing is amazing, but if we can tie this into it, that this is gonna be the big thing. I'll quit my job tomorrow if I know that there's a show that I can go to tomorrow. I wouldn't have any reservations. Like I would come. So the one thing is I am going to go to Hawaii in a week. So I'm going to try and see if I have 2 shows to play there. And I want to see if I can get Yang Gang Hawaii to come out, you know, like pay, you know. Yeah. So that's going to be the first, that's going to be like a test run almost, like, hey, like Yang Gang Hawaii, like we're setting up a show. The bands that I'm coming with are Yang Gang, like they're ready. Everybody's always asking me questions. How's Yang? What's the campaign thing? You know, like it's been 2 days, and I'm like, did you hear Elon Musk has joined the Yang Gang? No, we didn't. I'm like, oh yeah, well, and so that's just it. It's like if we can make something nice there, and like then go with Mark. And just be like, yo, Mark, like, this is happening. And then go to Yang Gang Atlanta and go, this is happening. Go to Portland and go, yes, this is happening. Go to SoCal, you know, like, this is happening. And that's just it. Is even if it's me having to go to the same venues over and over again, that's fine. Like, if we can get a consistent Yang venue, great. And then
So
I
that's
even think like this idea, it'll just kind of, this idea almost sells itself. We just need that cooperation. We just need that, like, everybody needs to be in on it. Because I mean, how many people does it take to set up a festival, you know? And this is basically like one giant festival.
Yeah, we don't want to be like TanaCon where we're doing where, like, nobody knows what's happening and like everybody's, you know, inexperienced. Well, we are inexperienced, but we have like organized. Everybody was unorganized in TanaCon, but we shall be different here.
Well, yeah, or like the Fire Festival, how terrible that was.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that. Yeah.
Oh, I saw the documentary,
so, yeah.
man.
But we're not you know, we're not sitting here trying to make money off of people. We're just trying to bring people together. And the thing is, even like for the musicians who are involved, the biggest thing is the fact that like you have followers and you have people that are watching your YouTube stuff and you have people that are following you and listening to you on Spotify. Like that is money coming to you whether you wanted to or not. Like how much more effort you have to put, no effort into it. Like, and that's something else that the leaders or the people in the volunteer Slack have to realize is that, like, if you have Spotify, you need to follow these bands because it costs you absolutely nothing. It's no skin off your back. Like, sorry if it changes your algorithm for your Spotify a little bit, but like this is going to be an arm where, like, if we have the volunteers that we have now, great. But if we have that local band and then mediocre level band and then one or two big name bands, it's over. Because again, nobody is. Cardi B pledged for Bernie Sanders, but one person, like, so what? Cardi B pledged for Bernie Sanders and Kanye West pledged for Donald Trump. So like, okay, who do we got for Yang? We can get better people. We can totally get better people. I mean, I think like
I don't like Cardi B.
I think Jaden Smith is a great candidate for Yang Gang.
Oh,
because Jaden Smith is a really well. He's a huge fan of Elon Musk, and he featured the Tesla in his video, and he started to become one of those conscious rappers. So he is trying to talk about his last album. Yeah,
I literally, like, I don't even know. Okay, I know I'm prejudging, but like I think I'm like caught up in like people mainly know Jaden for his crazy tweets, and I don't know, like. Okay, I'm sure that he's like doing some really cool stuff. It's just like he's still. I think most people just see him as like that crazy person, but you know, I trust that.
Right?
It's true. Yeah, it's true. But listen, like, I think that'd be interesting if, you know what, like, okay. Jaden will, and that'd be interesting. Like, will Will Smith jump on as well? Like, that'd be interesting. And but even if it's just Jaden, I don't know. That's just, I have to listen to like some of his music. To be honest, I haven't listened to any of his music. I don't know what the heck's going on there.
Yeah, his new album that he dropped was really good, and trust me, I wasn't a Jaden Smith fan.
I trust you.
Like, I grew up with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, so I was always into Will Smith.
I did, man. That's my show.
Yeah, but then when Jaden hit the scene, I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I like this. But then his last album like completely blew me away, and it was only because one of my buddies, he's actually recording a rap album right now, and he's in North Carolina. So shout out to Elijah Nuzoo. I hope everything's going great. But yeah, he told me, like, before even he released this last album, he told me about like Jaden Smith is better than you think he is, And then I listened to this last album and I was like, I get it. He has the crazy tweets. Yeah, with him like, oh yeah, me and Tyler the Creator is my boyfriend. That was the big thing that he had.
Oh.
But Yeah, like he like said that on stage live, and like everybody freaked out because obviously it wasn't true. But it was around the time where Tyler had come out, so
Wait,
it was almost
as
like a
what?
joke in bad taste.
Actually,
What?
come out as what? Is he bi or gay or something? I have no idea.
Yeah. Yes, Tyler.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is he bi or gay?
Tyler the Creator came out as gay.
Oh, okay. I literally have no idea. Like I said, I'm not in the hip hop like anything, so
Yeah.
very interesting. I know of him. Like he's like one of the biggest, artists in definitely in America. But interesting. Wait, when did he?
Oh, I don't. It's mostly just because I'm in music, so like it's just, these are just things that are floating
Yeah,
in my periphery constantly.
it's just
So
like
and like I get it. The things that I'm thinking like, wow, how do people not? I was like, oh yeah, because because they're
I'm in
not
my
there. How do
K-pop
you not
world.
understand
You're
that
you're
the key scale is just so easy and so cookie cutter that every single musician and pop artist uses it? I mean, it's pretty much just all C major or A minor. Gosh, think of something else.
yeah.
But yeah, but I mean, it's not just Jaden is one of those like he's mainstream and he's like mainstream and not at the same time.
Okay.
He's just enough mainstream to where like we can get him, and then because like I don't know any other groups that are so activist about it, and it's kind of a shame because before it was a lot easier to pinpoint your
Yeah.
people who are activists. And like, yeah, I can totally say that like without a
Like,
doubt that Jay-Z is an activist for what he's doing with the music industry and like starting Tidal and everything else. But even when I think of the rock bands out right now, 30 Seconds to Mars, maybe like they're still touring.
I
So like
know.
30 Seconds has always been active, but besides that, I have no clue.
Yeah, basically nobody, but because I'm just like a big fan of Evanescence, I do know that they're coming out with another album in like 2020. So like I know Evanescence is like a big group, but right now like they're like they hit their peak and now they're like not I wouldn't say on the decline, but like they're just not as popular as they were. But they do have I think people would trust. They're not very political, but like their songs are very like human empowerment, like very like gritty, very like deep. Yeah, I don't know if they would ever like say anything about like Yang or anything, but that would be dope if Amy Lee came out and be like, yeah, like this Yang guy is pretty neat. Like that would blow my freaking mind.
Well, that's the other thing is like the higher ground tour can like as like it would be Yang Gang organized, but because we're not mentioning the candidate's name in the tour,
Mm.
we're not asking any artist to endorse. We're just asking the artists to come out and like what are we about? We're about climate change and we're about marijuana. That sounds about right. But it really those are
I love you right now.
those are just two things that they're easy to connect with people and everybody else.
You're
What's
giving,
that?
I said that like you're giving me life right now. I love it.
So yeah, and like I feel like any musician can get behind those two things. I mean, if you just get higher ground is all it really is. It's all about climate change. It's all about the like. Sorry guys, when we were telling you about this, like Silent Spring was written, I want to say in this. It was written a long time ago. It was written more than 50 years ago. So like,
Yeah.
and it already documented about 50 years worth of climate change in that book. So like, we knew this so long ago. We've been telling you this so long ago that now when a candidate comes out and says, hey, it's too late, but like it's not too late for the end of the world, but it's too late for certain things. You just got to know that it's too late. Like when Bill Nye came out and said, like did his last big big thing on climate change, he literally took a blowtorch and set a globe on fire and was like, the world is burning, and yes, there are things we can do to prevent it, like extinguish. And he showed like extinguishers and fire blankets and stuff like that. He's like, but all of those things cost money. So we're either going to spend money on putting out the fires later, or we're going to spend money. So regardless of what we choose to do, we're going to pay for it with money. We're going to pay for it with lives. We're going to pay for it with our children's lives, actually, that's just demonic to even think that way. So
yeah, that's why I'm not having kids. It's partially why you are. Like, I'm not trying to have a kid to like basically be eaten alive by our freaking like floods and our fires and like what the hell? Like that's like really, I can't imagine. I can't do it. Sorry.
No. I'm saying let the world fall to the cockroaches. That's fine. Let them do their thing, and life will start over or something. Otherwise, but I'm not that I'm not that gloom about it. I definitely like instead of saying screw all of this, how about let's get together and let's not screw all of this. Let's get together and fix all of this. Let's get together and spend some money on this. Like, we don't need better tanks and airplanes. Like, we don't. We absolutely don't. We need to spend, like, our defense budget is not even a defense budget. Our defense budget is an aggression budget. It's an attack budget. Like a real defense budget would go into, things that can prevent, like, like how can we build like some kind of like cyber net where if airplanes and things are attacking us, we can like completely shut them down. Like, that would be a great defense budget thing to spend on, not just a bunch of missiles and rockets and things to kill ourselves with. And even then, like, slow down, like who are you trying to kill? Like, we have enough weapons to literally blow up the planet. So what's the point making more? And making more of the same. It's not like you're even making anything any different. You're just making the same gun but bigger. You're making the same can but bigger. It's like,
okay.
I'm not impressed anymore. I really am not. Like, nothing the military has shown me lately has been impressive since the stealth bomber. Like, we built the stealth bomber and we were all like, wow, that's really impressive. But after that, and then, like, believe me, like, I love the Air Force and the Navy, and I love everything about, the tech, but at the same time, stuff.
You had to go. I know.
But my friend just knocked on the door and said that it's time for us to go to band practice. But hey, it's time for all of a bunch of things. So let's start doing those things.
Even though Rob can't see us soon, which is totally fine, he can chill and relax in Ireland. But we definitely should meet soon. So when would be the best time for you?
Like you said, tomorrow midnight. Tomorrow noon, that would work.
Perfect. Let's freaking do it. We can talk mainly about the mall and whatever else. But I really want to expand on the mall and the tour. Duh. Like, mall and the tour. That's our
mall tour. 2020 mall tour.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much, Sergey. I'm elated right now. Have a good time with your band, okay?
Thank you. You too. Thank you, Alyssa. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.